Okay, we have been waiting for this for some time, and this will be a big transit. Pluto is the sign of uh, Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, crisis. So it's a pretty much collective planet, and this is slow but very effective planet. And Aquarius is the sign of social health, social organizations, knowledge, and so on. So when we have these two together, there will be big social changes. But as Pluto is a slow planet, this change will be slowly, so we don't feel this immediately. So it's not like new moon, it's not like Mercury retrograde, it's not like Venus transit. So as Pluto is slow, we will feel this slowly. So Pluto themes, what are these? Darkness. So Pluto represents our dark side, the face that the dark face of us that we don't want to share. And Pluto is the planet of manipulation. So yeah, you can be manipulative or you can be manipulated with Pluto. And it also rules obsessions. So obsessive relationships, Plutonic relationships, very much about Pluto. So that's why we call it Plutonic. So it is obsession. It's not really true love. It's more like obsession. And positively, Pluto is about power and empowerment. Pluto empowers you, and Pluto empowers the house that it transits in. And Pluto is also about death, underworld, and it shows things we buried in our unconscious, things we buried in our mind. And it's also about transformation, so which will be about changing. Like this change is necessary. So Pluto changes what is no longer useful, what is no longer helpful. So when Pluto changes something, there is no turning back. And Pluto is a very slow planet. And we will see the effects of Pluto transit in Aquarius when Pluto actually gets to 3 degrees. So in 2025, Pluto will get to 3 degree Aquarius or 26. And that's when we feel the effects of slow planets. So they have to be in 2 degree or 3 degree. So when a planet transits in, slow planet transits in 0 degree, we might not immediately feel the effects, but those effects will be very slow but transformative. Okay, so however, if you have 0 degree natal placements in Aquarius, Pluto will conjunct them. Okay, so 0 degree placements will be important for now, not for 20 years, for now. If you have 0 degree Leo placements, Pluto will oppose them. If you have 0 degree Taurus and Scorpio, Pluto will square them. Okay, so you might feel the effects immediately, like this month or next month. And if you have Gemini and Libra, Pluto will trine them. If you have Aries and Sagittarius, Pluto will sextile them. And if you have 0 degree Cancer and Virgo, Pluto will inconjunct them. So let me explain. So if you have 0 degree Aquarius placement, so Pluto will transform it. Pluto will empower it. So for example, if you have 0 degree Aquarius Sun, there will be lots of personal transformation. Or if you have 0 degree Venus in Aquarius, there will be change in money, there will be change in relationships. And if you have 0 degree Leo placements, Pluto will oppose them and there will be power struggles. So Pluto oppositions will be about power struggles because Pluto is about power and Pluto wants to be dominant. So oppositions will be about power struggles. For example, if you have 0 degree Leo Sun, when we have this transit in 0-degree Aquarius, there might be a power struggle between you and your father, for example. Or you might go through something within you. You might have a power struggle within yourself. And the most tricky ones or most stressful ones, 0-degree Taurus, 0-degree Scorpio placements, because Pluto will square them, and square means stress. So square means being hit from the place that you don't see. For example, now I'm looking at you. If someone hits me here, it is square. So I don't see it coming. But with opposition, you see it coming. So Pluto opposition will be easier than Pluto square. So this square will be harsh. Transformation of square will be harsh, might be unwanted, but you might need to go through this. And the good things are, if you have Gemini, Libra, Aries, and Sagittarius 0-degree placements, Pluto will sextile and trine them, which means that Pluto will change you for your well-being, for your good. So if you have a 0-degree Venus in Gemini, for example, you will be more attractive. You will be better in finances. Or if you have 0-degree Jupiter in Libra, you will be like richer, and you will be more powerful in relationships. Or if you have 0-degree Mercury in Aries, you will be dominant in your communication. You will be listened to. So trines and sextiles will be about empowerment, will be about supporting you. And finally, we have a tricky aspect in conjunct. This is 150-degree aspect. So if you have 0-degree Cancer and Virgo placements, Pluto will inconjunct them. So there will be something of surprise. Inconjunct is about surprise. So regarding the themes of that planet, you might have a surprise in your life. So it will be pretty much surprise, bitch, the scene that I love. And let me check chat. Exactly. 0-degree. Wow, you are all here. Great. And I will pick some of you later. I will analyze your charts. So 0 degrees for April, for March will be important until June. So you will have lots of things in 0-degree planets. And now, Aquarius themes. Let's take a look at Aquarius themes. What are these? Group work, collective work, humanity, charities, astrology, technology, originality, marginal groups, and knowledge. So Pluto will get into Aquarius, and Pluto will transform these things. So the things that we do for the collective, the things that we do in groups will change, and the perception of humanity will change, and there will be lots of new charities. And astrology will change. There will be some empowerment in astrology. I think all the fake astrologers out there will be eliminated. So, or all the people who don't do their jobs ethically will be eliminated. And astrology will be more dominant in society in next 20 years. So I even expect astrology courses at universities, or taking astrology more seriously. And we will see that in 20 years. And for technology, there will be huge changes in that as well. Especially Uranus will move into Gemini in 2026, and Uranus will trine Pluto. So there will be lots of changes in technology too. And this transit will also be about showing our unique side, showing our uniqueness, and being original. And it will also be about the equal distribution of knowledge. So we will get knowledge easily. So there are some websites which gives books or articles like for free, or which makes the access to knowledge wider. So we will have this type of things too. All right. If you have Aquarius placements, you already know about these placements, these themes. And now, let's see Pluto in Capricorn, like this transit. Let's talk about this transit. So Pluto entered to Capricorn in 2008 and will exit Capricorn in 2023. So you can, to understand how Pluto in Aquarius will affect you, you can think of how Pluto in Capricorn transformed you. So let me share my own experience. So I had Capricorn in my 9th house, and Pluto entered to Capricorn in 2008. So I was 18. And 9th house, what is that? Universities, higher education. I have just started my university education, and I was quite depressed when I first started it. And it transformed the way that I got education. And 9th house, I got education from, I got education in another city. So I changed city also. And they were quite depressing too for me at that time. But interestingly, in 2008, for the first time, I took a look at my own birth chart. So I researched about moon sign, sun sign, ascendant, Mercury sign, birth chart, and so on. So Pluto, when Pluto first got into my 9th house of astrology, actually, I first took a big step into becoming an astrologer without knowing it. So this is how it works. So this happens slowly. I didn't become an astrologer in 2008. I became an astrologer professionally in 2020, like globally. So Pluto transit will be slow in the sense, like really slow. So you can think how Pluto in Capricorn changed you in your Capricorn house. And this will give you some clue. So other than this, yeah, in 2020, remember we had Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn conjunction. So this made me step out as a professional astrologer. So before that, I was doing it on my own for friends, for people. But you see, like basically 9th house Pluto transit for me worked on my higher education, academia. I also do a master's degree. And it made me a professional astrologer, basically, like it empowered me gradually and slowly. So if you want to share, you can also share how you transformed in your Capricorn house via Pluto. Does any of you want to talk? If you can talk too.
I can share mine, Matt, if you like. Oh, sorry.
Sure.
Hi. So I have Capricorn in the 11th house, and in Plastis, it's my 10th house. So it definitely showed this transformation of friendships and social circles through work. And during that time, so when I left school in 2008, and then the process of like all the social groups and sort of power dynamics I've had to deal with during that time as well, and knowing how to work within an industry, sort of like knowing who is in charge and how to handle myself in situations as well. And a lot of, and sometimes those are quite tricky situations as well to navigate. So it, like, since 2008, I've met a lot of different social groups as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And with Pluto in your 11th house, for example, sometimes you might have felt like you are a bit unwanted in your groups or excluded from the groups. Have you ever felt that way? Like,
yeah, definitely. And actually, it's funny. This morning I went on like a mass Instagram like unfriending list, because I just looked through the groups on Facebook and Instagram. I was like, there's so many people here who I don't know and I don't connect with. Why am I in contact with them? So
yeah.
it was like a mass sort of decluttering of that.
Exactly. So, because if something is no longer useful for you, Pluto eliminates that. Pluto crashes that. So, yeah. Capricorn house, Marilyn Young, graduated in 2008. By 2018, lost my career with injury, became a magician. Here I am. Yes. Fifth house, started my actual relationship and become parents of baby Capricorn, Naomi. Okay, cool. For me, Pluto will not live first house in this life. Okay, does any of you want to share, want to talk?
Matt, is
You
there a
okay?
way, how can we find out like what dates Pluto was at certain degrees? I'm just wondering when it changed from my first house to my second house.
Yeah, we can also consider whole sign. It will be easier to do now, but what you say will be more personal. So, Kelly, what rising are you?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. So, second house. You will have Pluto. You had Pluto transit your second house.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just because I was just thinking like our finances. I know it's a big period of time, but our finances changed
yeah,
quite dramatically during like the latter
yeah.
period, like the second half. And I was just wondering, in Placidus, like I just wondered when it shifted from my first house to my second house.
Yeah, we can check that later. Or now, like after the lecture, we can
Yeah,
see
no,
that.
yeah, I can search as well.
Yeah. And then Mehdi says, sixth house, I left behind alcohol and bad habits. I've started to take more seriously routines and health. Change work many times. Yes. Carl, first house, in hospital 4 times because of mental health. I feel like I'm stronger. Exactly. Pluto in the first house makes you powerful, like changes you, and so on. Yeah, Melanie in the eighth house, definitely emotional. I don't remember. I was a child, she says. Pluto sixth house, divorced. My husband went through huge awakening 2 years ago. Second house, no job, very poor. Christina. Yeah. Seventh house, so many struggles with people I love, but they only use me. Yeah, Yamil, with Pluto seventh house transit, you can go through lots of manipulation or power struggles or abusive relationships too. This can be also a theme. So Pluto seventh house should also be careful. Yeah, Latoya, seventh house too, struggles with relationships. Okay, so yeah, if you want to talk, you can talk, or I will skip to the next slide. Yeah, so basically, what we get here is that Pluto transforms slowly. It doesn't happen immediately, but of course, there's a big and slow change in our Pluto house. And we experience that during Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, so now let's see some Pluto generations. Pluto in Sagittarius natally, and you can also think of what you went through if you can remember. So what happened during this transit? It is the generation Z. We had 9/11 attacks, so Sagittarius fanaticism, and we had some religious extremist movements. And for this generation, independence is quite important. So self-dependence, independence, mobility, like the generation of these people, people of this generation care about this thing. And they might also have some problems in conforming traditional social values. So in this sense. And yeah, eighth house, Marisa, also it can be about financial problems. Now it will go to your fourth house. And we had Pluto in Sagittarius in between 1996, 2008. And remember in 2008, the US had crisis in Wall Street or stock market. So when Pluto leaves a sign right now, it is in 29 degree. It's also about crisis too. Like we are going through lots of crisis right now in the world. So it is about Pluto in 29. And then Pluto in Scorpio generation, so millennials, and what changed during this time: sexuality, sexually transmitted diseases, sexual freedom, privacy, spirituality, occultism. And Pluto in Libra generation, Generation X. So in this generation, relationships were important. Power couples, we had lots of power couples and power struggles in the relationship, and luxury and beauty industry became higher. Libra also lose beauty. So plastic surgeries became more common, more accessible during Pluto in Libra times. So I wasn't alive back then, but this is, millennial, how it was. And Pluto in Virgo generation, baby boomers generation. So what we had: advancement in health and medicine, doctors and healers, healing industry, medical industry was rising during this time. So if a doctor has Pluto in Virgo in their natal chart, they are a good doctor. So there are many amazing doctors from this generation. Yeah, I'm millennial, 1990. All right, so these are the generations. So another important thing here is that we will have Pluto transit to our natal Pluto. So I have Pluto in Scorpio in 14 degree. So in like 10 years, Pluto will square my Pluto. So you can also check if transit Pluto is aspected to your natal Pluto. So if you have, for example, Pluto in Sagittarius, Pluto will sextile Pluto. This will be a time for good change, for example. Yeah, 1990. All right. So Pluto's aspect with other planets will be important as well. Like this will be a long transit for 20 years. So right now we have Saturn in Aries, but in 2 years or 3 years, right now we have Saturn in Pisces, but in 2 years or 3 years, Saturn will get into Aries. So we will have Saturn sextile Pluto. And Neptune will get into Aries a couple of years later. We will have Neptune sextile Pluto. And we in 2026, we have Uranus in Gemini. And we will have Uranus trine Pluto. So during this 20-year long transit, we should also take a look at how the collective planets, other collective planets change sign. So Saturn sextile Pluto in transit, like in a couple of years, will be about reconstruction, changing for good. Neptune in Aries will change spiritual community, especially Neptune sextile Pluto. And lots of people will embrace their psychic talents or talents in like their own magic, let's say. So this will be quite transformative regarding spiritual community, astrology. And Uranus in Gemini will be amazing. Like there will be lots of social changes, lots of technological changes, and lots of like changes that we cannot think of right now. They will happen when Uranus gets into Gemini and will trine Pluto. Like in 2026, 2027, social changes, technological changes, astrological changes will be huge. So these are the things that are waiting for us. Yeah, there will be a massive collective change during those years. Okay, so yeah, you asked when we have Pluto square Pluto, like I have Pluto in Scorpio and now Pluto in Aquarius. Like in 10 years, I will have Pluto square Pluto. So it will be a kind of midlife crisis, we can call that. Like you feel desire to transform, you feel desire to change everything in your life, everything about you. And there might be some stress as well. Yeah, these are the collective changes. And then, welcome. Exactly, Camila says, Pluto was in my 9th house. Kept some for me and professional, fired from jobs. Yeah. It was tough period, exactly, and emotional growth. Yeah, Mehdi, Uranus trine Pluto related to big social movements. There will be big social movements in 2026, 2027. Amazing. And now let's see how we should analyze Pluto transiting houses. So first we can take a look at how Pluto is aspected to your natal Pluto. This will be the major theme. Pluto transit Pluto will be huge. Then, as Pluto is in Aquarius, you can take a look at how Pluto is aspected to your natal Saturn and Uranus, okay? Because they are the rulers of Aquarius. And this will give you some clues about the themes that you can experience in your Aquarius house. When we do the charts, we will see visually. And then now let's talk about some possible themes of Pluto transiting each house. And if you had the same transit, you can also help me. You can tell me about your experience of that transit in your house. For example, Pluto in the 1st house. When we have this transit, 1st house is you. So this will change everything about you, basically. So, but gradually. The most noticeable sign of Pluto transiting 1st house is getting a tattoo. So you might suddenly want to get a tattoo or piercing, or you might want to change your outlook. And this will be quite empowering, and you will rely on yourself, you will trust yourself, and gradually your appearance will begin to change. And you will be more dominant, basically. And Pluto transiting 2nd house. So this will be about finances. So Pluto can be about loss. Pluto can be about empowerment and gain. So there might be a financial loss, or there might be a financial gain, huge gain. Like you can become rich. And other than this will work on your self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, values. So it will also change what you believe in, or if it will also make you more self-confident. Like you will question things about yourself. Like if you are insecure, you will have to face your insecurities. You will have to face what you bury. You will have to face all the things that you are not comfortable with. And then when you face them, you will empower yourself. And Pluto in the 3rd house. So this time it will mostly be about communication. So 3rd house transit, like you will be listened to when you talk. You will be dominant, like people will listen to you, and you will be influential. You will influence people, and you will sound powerful. And with 3rd house Pluto transit, there might also be some changes in your inner circles, or there might be some problems with your siblings, cousins, and but basically it will change you intellectually. 3rd house is an intellectual house. It will change the way you think. It will change the way you learn. It will change the way you want to do things. And 4th house is another important house because it is an angular house. So this change in the 4th house will be quite inner, like it will be inside you, it will be deep. So it can be about where you live. Like you might make a big move in your life, you might change your country, you might change your home, or you might change your relationship with your family members, or you might end your relationship with your family members, or you can make things okay. If something does not work, you can work it out. But emotionally, there will be a big, huge change in your core personality. So Pluto in the fourth house will be about that. And Pluto in the fifth house, so this will gradually change the way that you flirt, the way you have fun. And with Pluto in the fifth house, you should also be careful with addictions. Fifth house is also about addictions. So the fifth house is fun. It's about escapism. So it can also be an escapist house. And to escape reality, you can get into harmful addictions. So addictions will be important theme in your life to escape from. And it will also, like, as a parent, if you have a child, this can change the relationship that you have with your children, or this can make you a bit dominant parent, helicopter parent. Like you might want to be more, you might be more interested in your children. You might want to regulate everything for your children, or you might fear of losing your children. Fear of loss is also about Pluto. So in that house, Pluto transits, we also experience fear of loss. So this doesn't mean that there will be death. This doesn't mean that we will lose somebody, but there will definitely be a fear of loss. And Pluto in the sixth house, it will be about health. So basically, so you can go through some serious health problems, like I have to be honest, but Pluto is also about power. So Pluto is also empowering your immune system. So you will have a strong immune system during this transit. So no matter how sick you get, you can beat the disease. You can be okay. Pluto will give you power to be healthy. And this can also change your workplace. And there might be some manipulation in the workplace. And unfortunately, you can go through mobbing. You might be manipulated in the workplace, or you might experience mobbing. But overall, these things will make you stronger. And Pluto in the seventh house, lots of people ask me, so this will change your relationships. First of all, if a relationship is no longer useful for you, this will go out of your life. If your marriage is shaking, like it will end. And if any type of relationship is not benefiting you, it will end. And there will also be a new you in a relationship. So you will be able to get out of making the same relationship mistakes. You will be out of the same relationship patterns. This will change you in the relationship. You will become someone else in the relationship. Sometimes your partner will not recognize you. Like they will tell you, you have changed a lot, because Pluto will change your identity in the relationship. Other than this, during this transit, you might be in a relationship with someone who is powerful, or who might be a bit obsessive, or you can also have some stalkers. You can also like kind of attract some psychos with that one. So this is possible, like Pluto rules obsessions. So obsessive relationships, people obsessing over you, or you obsessing over people might be the theme. And Pluto in the eighth house, so this is the house of Pluto. So during this transit, there might be a fear of death. So not necessarily death. People ask me this question quite often, like I have Pluto in the eighth house, will I die? I have transit Pluto in the eighth house, will I die? Like so many people had, millions of people had Pluto in the eighth house transit. They did not all die, but there will be a fear of death. So there will be a fear of loss, fear of financial loss. Eighth house is also a financial house, but you will also face all the dark side of you, all your fears, all your insecurities, and all your secrets, all the things that you suppressed things that you hide from other people and things that you keep to yourself. You will face all the depths of your psychology. And this will also transform your psychology. Like let's say if you have been going through a long depression with Pluto in the 8th house transit, it is an amazing time to get therapy, to reconstruct yourself psychologically, because it will also empower you so much. Exactly, Mehdi, fear of dying alone, it can also be too. This transit will last 20 years, but it will be slowly and gradually, not immediately. And Pluto in the 9th house. So I shared my experience on my 9th house transit. So maybe some of you become professional astrologers with this transit. Like, you will believe in yourself, you will believe in your astrological talents. And you might also travel to places that you have never been. You might travel to mystical places, secret places, or this can change the way you learn, or maybe you will learn something completely different, something that you are not interested in right now. Like, your interests will change, your life views will change with that one. And then Pluto in the 10th house. So right now I will have this transit. So I'm quite hopeful with this transit. So I hope that it will empower me, in my career, as an astrologer. So during this transit, you might have a career change or empowerment in your career, and your social status will be powerful, in 20 years. And 10th house can also be about marriage, because it's about social status. So there might be marriage or divorce too, a change in your social status. Or you might get a new title, like maybe right now you are a research assistant at university, you will become professor in 20 years. You will have a new title and you will have empowerment in your career. And Pluto in the 11th house, with that transit, as Hannah told us, there will be lots of social circling. So you can question your friends. You can you might want to cut out your relationship with people who are no longer your friends. Or you can become friends with powerful people, really strong people, and you can make strong connections with strong people. And your friends, your social circles might support you. And basically, you can become a powerful figure in your social groups too. But you will eliminate lots of friends from your life as well. And Pluto in the 12th house. Okay, this is tricky and a bit similar to the 8th house. So this will make you face everything that you don't want to face, like your fears, your unconscious, your psychology, your feelings, everything that you buried inside. So during this transit, during this 20-year transit, you might face your childhood traumas, you might face your past traumas. Also, if you believe, you can get past life regressions, this can help you around this time. You can solve some of your karmic issues with regression therapy and this kind of things. Other than this, 12th house Pluto is really powerful. So it is hidden but powerful. So you will have lots of mental power, make it happen power. So when you think, it will happen. Because of that, you should be careful with what you think. Basically, if you think positively, it will happen. You will create things with your mind. Pluto 12th house. And then there might also be a theme of absorbing negative energy. Pluto might also be about that. Negative energy of places, negative energy of people. So with Pluto transiting your 12th house, you should also protect yourself energetically. So it is quite a psychic house. So there might be some psychic attacks on you, or jealousy, evil eye, this kind of things. So you might be a bit vulnerable to these things. So you should also be strong energetically with 12th house Pluto. And 12th house and Pluto are also about closed off areas, places that no one wants to be in. So you might need to visit a kind of undesirable place, like a dirty part of the town, or hospitals, really dirty places. Like you might have a kind of unwanted experience in a kind of closed off area with 12th house Pluto. Yeah, you confirm. So if you had this transit, you can share your experience too. Now. Yeah. And right now,